A lot of people are obviously interested in this whole Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson bout, right? This will be my one and only video I will do on this whole fucking thing. Let me tell you exactly how this is going to go down. And before I do that, let's talk about Jake Paul a little bit. Jake Paul is now 8-1 as a professional boxer. Cool. That's great. Let's look at his opponents. Nate Robinson. Ben Askren. Tyron Woodley. Anderson Silva. Nate Diaz. Andre August. Ryan Borland. And Tommy Fury. And now Mike Tyson. Let's look at his average age of opponent. Nate Robinson, 35. Ben Askren, 36. Oh, by the way, Nate Robinson, 35, retired basketball player and 5'9". Ben Askren, 36, was in desperate need of a hip replacement. Never once trained striking. His own words, never once trained striking in his entire mixed martial arts career and in desperate need of a hip replacement at the time. A 46-year-old Anderson Silva, which, okay, fine. Unprimed Nate Diaz, waited until he was shouldn't have been in there. Also an MMA fighter and a jiu-jitsu, known for his jiu-jitsu. Andre August. Let's talk about Andre August a little bit. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's 10-1 with 5 knockouts, former Golden Gloves champion." Let's take a look at Andre August's record. Fought a guy who was 1-1 in his debut. First 2 fights, both debuts. His next fight, fought a guy who was 1-1, has never fought again. What's after that? Fought a guy who went 0-4 in his career. A guy who was 3-3. A guy who was 6-25. Lost 16 fights by knockout in his career. A guy who was 5-16. Another guy who was 7-13. Cool. Awesome, dude. Let's take a look at Ryan Borland. Who did he fight? Because he was a Golden Gloves champion too. 17-2. Fought a guy who was 9-20. A guy who was 12-20, knocked him out. A split decision win versus a guy who was 5-4. A decision win versus a guy who was 13-9. Fought another guy to decision who was 13-20. And another guy who was 4-6 2 years before he fought Jake Paul and hadn't fought for 2 years before that. Cool. And now you're fighting a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, which, cool. Before I get to this, his average age of opponent before Mike Tyson was 37 and a half years old. If you add Tommy Fury into that, which I was really happy to see him fight Tommy Fury. I thought that was a great fight. Not an actual good fight, but I thought that fight made sense for the both of them. Is 35 and a half years old. And then if you add Mike Tyson back into that, his average age of opponent is 38.3 years of age. Listen, I don't really care what Jake Paul does, right? If he just wants to go out there, he wants to make money and make himself look good, fight whoever you want. Fight all these retired MMA guys. That's great. You're still getting in there. He's putting in the work. He's getting in there with dangerous opponents. And he looks good. He's got a lot of power. He's knocking guys out. That's fantastic. If you want to be taken seriously as a he keeps saying he wants to be a world champion. If you want to be taken seriously as a boxer, you have to stop doing these gimmick fights. It makes no sense for you. You win nothing from this. If you knock out Mike Tyson, you get nothing from that. He's 58. Yes, Mike Tyson, can he knock Jake Paul? He can put him into another dimension. But he still has a 58-year-old man's brain that can be shut off at any second. Who knows how good his chin is anymore? This isn't Mike Tyson from when he fought Peter McNeely. This isn't Mike Tyson when he knocked out any of those other guys. This is a 58-year-old man who takes mushrooms and talks about world conquerors on a podcast. And yes, he is digging back into that old Mike Tyson, but the chin is like the first thing to go. And if you want to be taken seriously, you got to keep fighting. Even these shitty opponents like Andre August and Ryan Borland, you have to keep fighting guys like that. You can't fight Tyron Woodley. You can't fight Anderson Silva. You can't fight Ben Askren. You can't fight Nate Diaz. Go and beat up on all these guys who are terrible. That's fine. That's what a lot of these young prospects do. That's what Triple G did. That's what Canelo did. That's what Floyd Mayweather did. That's what all of these highly touted prospects do in boxing. They beat up on guys who aren't very good to get them ring experience, and they work their way up. Because for some reason in boxing, having only one loss or an undefeated record is super important. Here's how I think this fight will go. For one, it's free on Netflix. Netflix has 260 million subscribers. And you can watch it. And if you have a phone, you can watch this fight. If you have a phone and an internet connection, you will watch it. So it's probably going to get at least between 80 and 120 million viewers. I guarantee it. They're probably going to dance around the ring and pop shot each other. It's probably going to look like an exhibition. And I know that Mike and Jake are saying otherwise. They're trying to sell a fight. If you saw their video of them horsing around when they were signing the contract, they're just trying to make some money, and hats off to them. It's at AT&T Stadium. Think about that. They're going to probably fill the undercard with fights that are going to be really fun. I guarantee the card will be fun. It'll be a crazy event. But I don't think they're going to go in there and really try to make this look like a professional boxing fight. They're going to dance around the ring, pop shot each other. Mike's probably going to hit him with some body shots and drop him. Jake will probably try to take his head off. Who knows? This fight makes nothing good can come of this for Jake Paul. If he wants to be taken seriously, this is the last thing he needs to do. And that's all I'm going to say about this topic for the rest of eternity.